Hello, Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday at noon, and then I post this up to social media. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. The views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other therapist for that matter. Boom shakalaka done. I'd like to thank my sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp is a wonderful therapy company. They are international. They're online, so you can do video stuff. You can do chatting. You can do all sorts of stuff with betterhelp.com/Chris Godinez. They've helped a lot of people, and I'm very grateful to have them as my sponsor. Thank you, betterhelp.com/Chris Godinez. They're international. You just go in, fill out a couple of questionnaires. They'll place you with a licensed professional level, master's level, PhD level therapist in your state, or one that can do international, and I've gotten really good feedback from people. So thank you, betterhelp.com/Chris Godinez. Okay, let's dive into the question. So I've had a lot of questions on hostile work environment. One was asking what to do. There's a coworker that stated that they were a practical joker and that you should watch out on April 1st. Don't like practical jokes. Now I'm uncomfortable. What do? I've had other people tell me that they've been in work situations where there was a really, really hostile work environment. So like, publicly humiliating at meetings, or telling them that they needed to work overtime without getting compensated for it, or they would lose their job, things like that. So the sad truth of the matter is that if you're working for a mom and pop company, probably there's not much you can do other than look for another job. If you're working for a company that is pretty well known and has multiple things across the country, you go to the HR. So, and realize HR is there to protect the company. That's really, but here's the thing. The company does not want to be sued for a hostile work environment. So if they're doing something hinky, like, practical jokes are being pulled on people, or you're made to feel uncomfortable and or unsafe, that's a hostile work environment. So what you can do is go to the EEOC.gov. So, and file a hostile work environment claim. So the other thing you want to do is you want to go to the HR, and you just want to be like, look, this person is harassing me. This person is saying they do practical jokes. I'm not interested. But again, if you're working for a mom and pop company and there's no HR, or there's just a boss, you're probably not going to get anywhere, especially if that person is a flying monkey or is buddies with the boss or whatever. In that case, start looking for another job. Be gone on April 1st. Just don't be there. Just be sick that day. That's another way to deal with it. So yeah, I mean, that's the problem. And I see a lot of companies create hostile work environments and have a very toxic environment where there is very much a scapegoat in the company. And, how do I explain this? Companies become who the higher management is. Okay. And usually if the higher management is disordered, is abuser, is cruel, is whatever, the company starts becoming their family of origin. So there will be scapegoats. There will be golden children. There will be, it basically becomes a replica of their family of origin. So if you're in a company where you're feeling unsafe and you're feeling like, oh, this is a hostile work environment, honestly, two things. One, if it's a big corporation, go to the HR department, because the HR department is not going to put up with that because they don't want to be sued. So you can do that. Two, you file a claim with the EEOC.gov for a hostile work environment. You do that. Three, you get yourself a lawyer, and start documenting. And honestly, there's been cases where people have been able to prove that there was a hostile work environment, and they ended up getting financial compensation because they sued them for pain and suffering. So so document. Regardless, you want to document. If you can, absolutely go to the HR department. But like I said, if there is no HR department, or if this company is really hinky, it's probably not going to get you anywhere, because remember that HR department is there to protect the corporation, not you. They don't want to get sued. So when you're talking about harassment, or when you're talking about being uncomfortable in a work situation, what you're going to want to do is make sure you let them know you've documented this. Hey, I have a friend who's an attorney. I've documented all of this. Watch how quickly their tune changes. So, and or they may just fire you because, Arizona being a right to work state, which I don't like, they can fire you for any reason. Don't need to give an explanation, and they can walk you off the property the second they decide they don't want you there anymore. So there's no 2 week notices really in Arizona. So, yeah, it's a dicey situation. So if you are uncomfortable in this particular work situation, document, 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 document. That's going to be your friend. It's going to protect you. And if you need to file a lawsuit, there you go. You've got all your documentation. Write down witnesses. Keep emails. Keep voicemails. Keep texts. Keep all of this stuff. Copy and paste it. Copy it. Put it into a file, make sure that you have documentation, proof, witnesses, people that you can call on if you need to. Other than that, look for another job. If this is a company-wide kind of infection is the best way to put it, but if this is a company-wide, it's acceptable culture, like it's a very toxic corporate culture, like harassment is acceptable or misogyny is acceptable or racism is acceptable or whatever, then yeah, you want to start looking at getting out of that job and into another one. Document the heck out of it. File a complaint with the EEOC. Talk to an attorney. That's another thing you can do. If a certain coworker has specifically said, watch out on April Fool's Day, just don't be there. Don't be there. Be sick that day. You don't have to attend every practical joke that somebody's invited you to. Much like you don't have to attend every argument somebody's invited you to. So think about not being there that day, but do make people aware that you're not okay with it. It's like, look, I don't like practical jokes. I just am here to get my check and do my job, and that's it. A lot of these toxic companies expect people to give up their entire lives for this job and to, work overtime without compensation, which is illegal, and they expect people to not rat them out. You need to rat them out. The more people that rat out these corporations, the better. So anyway, there is that. There is a lot of corporate hostile work environments. There really are, and it can be subtle or it can be blatant, but you should not have to put up with either one, subtle or blatant. Document, get your witnesses, let HR know, hey, I don't cotton to this. This is a hostile work environment. What are you going to do? And it better not involve firing me because I'm not the problem. Seriously, you've got to be as blunt with them as possible, because if they think they can intimidate you, they will, because that's what bullies do. Fear, obligation, and guilt. So if they can't make you fearful, they'll make you feel obligated, or they'll try to guilt trip you. So you just let them know, not playing. This is not my problem. This is a you problem. This is not okay. This would not be okay in any other corporation. Why are we putting up with it here? And then, like I said, go to the EEOC.gov and file a hostile work environment. That's the best thing you can do. And also get an attorney. If you think they're going to unjustly fire you, get an attorney. Absolutely. And just go for it. So it sucks. In a perfect world, we wouldn't have to put up with this stuff, but this is not a perfect world. And unfortunately, there are a lot of abusive people out there. And there's a lot of just, unconscious people out there. This person that says that they like practical jokes maybe doesn't understand that survivors of abuse don't. We don't like surprises. We don't like practical jokes. And we especially don't like being laughed at, because that's what our abusers did. They would do something terrible and then laugh at us while we were sitting there crying. So, yeah, so it could be just a matter of this person doesn't understand. But regardless, that is not appropriate in the workplace. And that is something that people need to start thinking about. It's like, how is this affecting other people? I don't like April Fools. I don't. It is my least favorite holiday of the whole holiday thing, because I don't think it's funny to laugh at other people's expense. I really don't. I like gentle humor. I do. I love gentle humor. So anyway, there it is. So file a complaint with the EEOC, document everything. Don't put up with it. Talk to your HR. If you don't feel safe doing that, maybe start looking for another job. And really, it's like when you go to look for the other job, really pay attention to how they treat people, what people say. Um, and, you know, if they're not going to put up with practical jokes, that's a good thing. You know, I mean, it's okay to have fun, but I never liked practical jokes. They were always at somebody else's expense. So, no, thank you. That's what abusers do. No, thank you. All right, my loves, you guys go have a great week. I will talk to you on Sunday. I'm going to be talking about toxic parents. We're going to be talking about the effect of toxic dads on the daughters and toxic moms on the sons, and vice versa, and everything else. All right, you guys take good care, and I will talk to you later. Bye.